So, let's see. Let me get my guest. Copy. Copy. There we go. 1 second. We're live. Send. Let's see here. We are back. Facts with Maaxx. And I have another guest today. Oh, let me see here. Go live. Can I click on the Instagram too? Hold on. Yeah. Let's see. Are we live everywhere? We're live everywhere. It's working. It's working. I'll make sure everything works. If anybody's on here, can you hear the sound? Let me know. Let me freaking know. Interest. Oh, there he is. There you are.
All right.
There you are. Nice.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I cannot hear you.
You can't?
Is that our technical difficulty? Audio. Hang on. Stand by. Still working on a little audio situation.
Well, hopefully the live can hear me.
Almost being plugged in. My tech support. He's the whitest tech support you're ever going to meet.
Okay, anyone on the live here? I see some Instagram live people. Can you guys hear me? Can you hear Tony? Let me know.
Is it us or on her?
It should work. I can hear you perfectly fine though.
We were hearing her fine 10 seconds ago.
And my microphone is on.
It might be on her end. Hang on. Give me a second. I can't hear you.
No?
I know you can hear me.
Nothing? Okay, I mean, oops.
Should be fine.
No,
is your mic plugged in?
Not my thing.
No, I can't hear you.
I'm getting no power here.
No?
Right.
Let's get it.
Hang on.
Interesting.
It might be on our side. There's no power there? Oh, it was just there.
Well.
Well, the good news is there's 0 viewers, so that's the positive. I can't hear you yet. Hang on. I think there's a power supply issue on this side. 1 second.
Interesting.
I think we have a backplate.
Okay, guys, I think I got some people on from X. You guys on X, can you hear me? Would you mind dropping a comment? Want to make sure the sound works.
What if we switch the audio
for everybody?
Where's that cord here? Is that?
Sorry, favorite night.
Instagram too. Anybody? Can you hear the sound? Oh, we lost him. Okay, guys. Anyone who's on here, can you guys hear me? Let me know. Tony couldn't hear me, so I want to be sure that it's not a microphone issue on my end. So please let me know. Okay, can you hear me now?
Can you try talking?
Yeah, I'm talking.
See, she can hear me. I can't.
Still nothing? I can hear you fine, yeah.
Stand by.
Yeah,
hold on.
All right,
move.
Very
move
interesting. Very interesting. I'm definitely on. I can hear the sound clear on both. Thank you so much. Okay. So the sound issue is on their end. Let me see. People say they can hear us both. So the issue is on your...
Should we switch to
okay, I'm just telling him here. He can't hear apparently.
That's cool. Why don't I just pull up my laptop?
Okay, we're just working on. Somehow he can't hear me, he says. So we're just trying to figure that out. I wonder, I don't really know. There must be a sound, but let me see it. There must be a sound. Somewhere in the ecam. Okay, we're gonna try a different device, so we'll see. Guys, hang tight because it's gonna be a good podcast. Right? This must be an important live they don't want us to see. Yeah. So all you guys that are on Instagram right now, if you want to see the full frame live, Instagram crops it off. I am live right now on Rumble. I'm on YouTube. I'm on Kick. I'm on X. I'm on Facebook. So if you go to any other platform, you will be able to see the entire frame. It's only Instagram that crops it off like this. So if you guys go over to any other platform, that's where you'll be able to see the full screen. Because as soon as the guest comes in, then it splits the screen in the middle. And then you guys are not going to be able to see us anymore. You can still hear us, obviously. But I do suggest going to one of the other platforms. Because it's probably going to look a little better. My hair is looking like, I don't know what today. Look at that. But me and Tony here, we have been on a call for probably the last hour. This is a very dear friend of mine. And we're going to talk some money with you guys today. Yes. Do they want you guys to hear that? Maybe not. Tony's a he's called the insider investor. That he used to work on Wall Street. I'm going to let him do his own introduction though. But yeah, it's money talks. Because, I do biohacking. For me, biohacking involves a little bit of everything. It involves health, it involves freedom, it involves financial freedom, and not being not being trapped in the system. So I want to cover everything: spirituality, money, health, all of it. Let's see if we have him coming back here. There's been a lot of lives here. It's going to be a lot of lives this week. Yesterday, if you guys haven't watched it yet, I did go live on yesterday with my friend Mike. I'm going to show you guys here. Oh, it shows it like that. Interesting. So here you guys have the one from yesterday. I called it Exorcism and Reptilians. If you guys haven't watched that, I highly suggest you go do. This is the replay. I will also be doing some short reels, snippets, cut out bits and pieces if you guys don't want to listen to the whole thing. But since it's a Rumble video, you can fast forward. It's also on YouTube if you guys want to see it there. Okay, here we go. He is coming back. Oh, wait, what happened? Okay, he said he's coming back here. I don't know what happened. Oh, sorry. There he is. Okay, can you hear me now?
Holy moly.
Sorry, guys.
This is what happens when you outsource tech support to a white boy.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Really?
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you fine. Can you hear
good.
us?
Yeah, I was wondering if it was me for a second, but people were saying that they could hear us both very well. So it was not that.
I thought maybe the Harris campaign had taken over tech.
But people were also saying since they clearly didn't want the sound to work, it must be a very important live. And I said absolutely that it is.
That's what we do.
Yes. So I just briefly told people that you are the insider investor, but I'm going to let you do your introduction. And I told them you are a very dear friend of mine and we have important things to say.
Oh, shit. Well, thank you. Thank you for the, I don't even know what the hell you said about me, but whatever it was, I hope it was good. No, it's I've gotten to know you well over the past 3-4 years now, and it's been amazing watching what you've gone through. We have a lot of alignment together. Quick background on me: I was on Wall Street for about 20 years. If you've ever seen the movie Pursuit of Happiness with Will Smith, that movie was pretty much very dead on accurate. I was, started off as a rookie, didn't have a lot of money, parked my beat up truck around the corner and asked people for millions of dollars. Worked my way up the ranks. I was in the World Trade Center about 7 days before the planes came in, and then developed good relationships throughout that. My future business partner at the time was actually in the building when the planes came in, so that gives you, 2001 from the time that I got in. And about 20 years ago, left that industry, and I wanted to kind of tell my story. If you've ever seen Wolf of Wall Street or Boiler Room, all these negative shows about the financial services world, they're all pretty much true. So I wanted to tell my story, talk about my story, save people from getting screwed with money. And through that, I ended up with a show on iHeartRadio called Financial Fridays on CT 101. And I was in about 180 countries, 8 million listeners a week. But from there, I got to meet amazing people like you. I was speaking on stages, and I think we were at the same event. And that's how we got to know each other. And through the course of the past, call it 4 years, I've really been awakened to the healthcare issues in this country, the attacks on our First Amendment, if you will. For me, the most important thing about this election was I immigrated to this country when I was 2 years old. And for the first time in my life, I had to be afraid of what I was saying, to not just lose opportunities, but to get deplatformed and to get censored and to get shadow banned and all these words that I used to think were bullshit words. And I remember being in rooms with you and you would tell me that. And I'm like, stop, you're not that popular. This is just you not getting your views. And then it started happening to me. And the more I started kind of bringing on people onto my show that wanted to just talk about real science or real efficacy or real experiences, now all of a sudden we're in the United States of America and I can't talk. And so that's why I've aligned myself with you and people spreading a message. And you don't have to agree with everything everybody says, but at the end of the day, if you can't talk in this country, something's fucked up. I don't even know if I can say fuck here, but fuck it.
Oh, on my live, you can say whatever you want. Well, I have shadow bans, but that's why I started doing this live stream, so that I'm definitely streaming on the platforms where they do ban, but I'm also streaming on the platforms that don't. So like my X and my Rumble are the ones that typically do not get bans. So I'm on there as well, and I'm trying to forward people over there, saying that if this is the case, like the live gets shut down or whatever it is, just make sure you go to one of them and you can keep watching. And I've never heard of these platforms banning people from going live. I don't think so, but who knows?
Until they get bought out, and I think that's the other end game here is the conglomerates kind of swallowing them up. Huge personally, and I don't even know your viewpoints on this, but seeing what Musk has now done with not just X, but seeing the fact that for the first time there's somebody that has enough FU money that can actually say, no, you can't shut me down. He can curse out Disney. By the way, I don't know if you saw this, but yesterday, even Disney is now starting to advertise back on X. So eventually, money talks. People's actions. Your vote matters a little bit. It doesn't really, I don't think. I think more importantly, your money matters, and voting with your money, your actions, and your subscriptions, and the content that you consume has more power to vote, in my opinion.
Yeah, and actually, since we are talking about that, and I said I was, I'm when it comes to politics and stuff, I'm not very much about it. Everyone does whatever they want. I don't really truly believe that these things matter, but I just wanted to play this video real quick because when, Trump won and RFK and everybody came in, here's the thing, I believe to give everybody a chance. They had great things they wanted to do, and you know what? Okay, let's see if they actually follow through. And the first thing I see after is this freaking thing that I made a post about. Hold on, let me see. There's no sound here. But this is the first freaking thing that I see pop up. They just started and they posted McDonald's post. So, I mean, like, in my eyes, they already failed. I'm not saying they're not going to follow through, but, like, this is how you kick off your entire thing with the caption also, to point that out again. Make America Healthy Again starts tomorrow, almost like making a joke about how people say my diet starts tomorrow. And people say, oh, but Maaxx, why do you do that? They said they would start tomorrow. And I said, that is not fucking funny. That is not a funny joke at all. Like, knowing what we know today, and I even wrote it in the video on my caption. I said, here's the thing, do you also think that a safe and effective is okay in moderation? Like, come on, guys. Some things is not okay in moderation either. Like McDonald's, for example. Yes, you can definitely have your cheat meals and whatever, but there are certain things you should just never touch. And especially not if you are a politician or a president or somebody with huge influence. Do not post that shit. If you want to eat that, you do that in private.
You nailed it on the head. I think for me, right after the elections, I think within 12 hours, one of the best tweets I've ever seen was RFK coming out, and I'll pull it up and read it to you in a second. But I think what he said was to the effect of, if you work for the FDA or you're part of the FDA, watch out, your job's at stake. If you work for pharma, I'm coming for you. We're going to change the game. Stem cells, peptides, raw milk, all the shit that they're telling you is dangerous. We're now going to psilocybin, cannabis, alternative medicine, like all the crap that we've been criminalized for. And now we get a chance to fight back. And now we get RFK in office, and this donkey picture with freaking McDonald's, and it's like,
just like, I don't know the exact details to something like that, but to me, that's a paid post. There's no other way. Why would you do that otherwise? Because if you want to go and eat your fat ass McDonald's, like, you do that. But I made a post early this year with this girl, and I'm actually going to pull that up too, because I'm screen sharing. I know that you might not be able to see that, but I'm screen sharing my screen with the live stream. So I'm just going to show this girl. Yeah, I think that the guests might not be able to see it, but I have this girl I posted. I'm pulling her up. So her name is Lisa Fitch. She posted a picture of her and her newborn baby. She has just given birth. She's breastfeeding the baby, and she has McDonald's with her in the bed. And I posted that, and I lost thousands of followers overnight. And I started getting messages from people saying that I am a shitty person who's hating on a new mom, and how dare I? And she is actually allowed to have a cheat meal. And I said, you guys do not understand what's going on here. She can do whatever she wants. I agree with that. But the thing is, she's a very famous person with a large influence, and she knows that. That post, she knows very well what she's doing, and that is money. That's money related. You do not post that otherwise, and especially now when you have a newborn baby. And I work with Acemannan, which is mannose, which is basically nature's breast milk. When you breastfeed a baby, whatever you put in you is going into that child, and the child has no immune system. So no, that is absolutely unacceptable.
I remember years ago when I started kind of going down these rabbit holes with food and eating, and which we're processing and putting into our bodies. And I got to tell you, Maaxx, I think sometimes at this point in this country, with as much crap as we're being hit from all sides, from media to digital media, social media, visual media, audio media, I think ignorance is bliss at some point for most people at this point, because I don't even know what the fuck to do. If I did have a kid, I don't have a kid, but do I breastfeed it? Do I not? Organic? Do I not? Do I use an iPad? Do I use a baby wipe? Do I give it a diaper? Like everything. I need a bottle of Xanax to get through the fucking day every day. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So I think at this point, people are just so tired of you don't even know what to believe anymore. But the one thing you can't believe is if you just look up the ingredients in a chicken McNugget, right? Or the way they, like, that, one of my favorite clips, and I'm sure everybody has seen this, but if you just leave a box of fries out for like 5 years, it still looks the same. Like there's something normal about that, right? Or just travel to a foreign country, even Mexico, eat steak and eggs for a week and come back and take a shit. Your shit's going to look different. There's something different about the food that we're doing in this country, and the fact that there's dyes and chemicals, and you can go and get the same damn box of cereal in a different country, and it's got ingredients that are banned, and yet we're talking about freaking restrooms and dudes playing in chick sport. Like, just the focus, and I don't even care to go down that discussion, but you see what I'm saying? There's things that are killing people, and we're focusing on things like, I don't know, man. Like I said, I love the mantle you've taken. There's sometimes extreme. I don't agree with everything you do, but I love the fact that you're taking a stance, You're doing your research, and I watch it, I consume it, and shit, that's more valuable than half the things on TV right now. And I think there needs to be more. But here's the problem, right? You have gotten to the point to where you're world champion, literally world champion, right? You've put your money finances aside, your career, like you're like mission focused now. And I think a lot of people either don't have the finances, don't have the balls, don't have the
I think it's a lot. It's fear related. I think a lot of people have fear. They have fear of not having money. They have fear of not being able to keep their home or eat food or take care of their family. All this stuff. I think it's all comes to fear. I don't have any fear. And somebody told me one day, "Oh, but Maaxx, I have kids, so I can't just do that." And I said, "Well, I might not have my own yet." Which I will, which is going to be a whole story because I'm not supposed to be able to get pregnant according to the medical system, but I'm going to prove them wrong. But I said, like, I might not have my own kids, but as a matter of fact, I'm saving hundreds or maybe thousands of children every month. So don't think I don't still feel like I have some sort of responsibility, because I do. But I don't have fear because I've come to the point spiritually, where I know I don't need to have fear, because I know that everything I do is going to happen the way it should. So I'm not worried. I'm not worried to lose my home. I'm not worried to lose my car. I'm not worried that I'm not going to be able to eat. I'm not worried about any of that shit. And I think when you get to that point, that's when you truly can start helping people, because I don't think people don't want to. I don't really think that's what it is.
I'd love to ask you, as you know, and I'm nowhere near the caliber of online celebrity status that you had, and with the hundreds.
Don't say that. You had millions of people listening to you.
They come in a different, vertical. If you will, right? with online and social media, seeing the influence that you had when you had the 500,000, 600,000 followers, millions, aggregate, etc. And then you have a message that you want to send and put out there. But knowing that, if you want to talk about the vaccine, or if you want to talk about something that's got a word in it, whether it's genocide or Israel, it doesn't matter what today's topic is that I can't talk about. And the fact that we have to self-censor ourselves in order to not lose followers, not to get deplatformed, knowing that if you get deplatformed, you're on like your 9th account. You're on you've discovered platforms I didn't know existed just to get your message out, right? But your audience has now diminished. So how do you decide, and this, I'd love for this to be a clip, because I think it's a question a lot of content creators are asking. How do you decide, do I keep my true authentic self? And if my message is I want it to get it to the masses, not to sell shit, but to get my message to the masses that are following me, but knowing that if I'm too authentic or too uncensored, I'll get deplatformed, or now I got to go on a platform where I got 1/10 of the followers. How do you make that distinction to keep the authenticity and the message alive, but not lose the platform?
Well, I don't care about the platform. I think if you truly get to the point, and that's where the spirituality comes in, and I've done so much work on that the last few years. When you come to the level of where you just know, there's no other way to it. I just know that whatever I feel in here is right. There's nothing else. Whatever I feel in here is right. That's what I'm going to do. And it doesn't matter what the consequence is. And I think that's why I really want to talk more about spirituality with people. Or people can call it whatever they want. I don't like to say religious, because I feel like religion is a business, but, call it whatever you want, whatever you are. You need to work on reaching, find God or find whatever you want. And I was the person, I didn't believe in God for a long time, but for me, I always believed in the universe. So I would pray to the universe. I would talk to the universe until suddenly one day I spoke to God. For me, I know what I did. I know what I saw. I know what I heard, I know what I felt. So I don't have any questions about that anymore. I just know whatever my heart tells me, whatever my soul tells me, that's just what I do. And so I never need to question anything ever. My only question would be, I'm sitting here today, which platforms should I stream on? That might be a question, but is the question ever going to be, should I say this thing I want to say? No, of course I am.
But you do have a goal, like for your mission right now is with the, with the company representing and is feeding children and spreading
Mm-hmm.
this health message,
Mm-hmm.
knowing that if you're on these platforms where you had 1 million followers and
Mm-hmm.
now all of a sudden your message won't get there. So I'm not saying that from a self-centered standpoint of, oh my
Uh-huh.
gosh, I might lose followers. But if you're truly delivering a message that you feel is saving lives or
Mm-hmm.
saving finances in my cases, or I want people to not lose money in scams, but
Mm-hmm.
knowing if I say certain names or call out certain people that I'm going to be on that list, right? So
Mm-hmm.
now people won't hear the message even if I water it down. Does that make sense?
Yes, and that's a very good question, because in a way you could see it as, Maaxx, shouldn't you play the game a little bit more so you can save more kids, right? Yes, that is the question.
Right.
But I think that if you are not authentic, you're gonna lose, and it's not going to work, because if people feel my authenticity, because it's all about feeling, and I have the skill of going out. I can go out on the street right now and talk to everybody I see on the street. There is no limitation. If I wake up today and they shut down every platform I have, then I'll probably go out the door and do something, or go somewhere, or travel somewhere. Like, there is
Yeah.
really no limit. The only limitation is here. So, like, there's
Right.
always going to be a way, and maybe us as entrepreneurs, maybe we think a little bit wider than the average person, because I'm an entrepreneur, so you always problem solve, right? And I love problem solving. I've been a problem solver my whole life, and for a long time in my life, that was probably not a good thing, because I always felt like I have to solve everybody else's problems, even the people that didn't want me to solve their problems. You know what I mean? So I've gotten to where I'm like, sometimes you just have to, you provide a solution. They don't want it. Okay, you kind of have to step away and just know that you planted a seed, and hopefully one day that will bloom. And it always does. The people will come back. All you can do is just keep educating. And when the time is right, each person will come back. But of course, yes. So now, obviously, the solution has been to find the platforms where they don't censor, because I don't believe we need Meta. Like, I have a friend of mine who works with Meta. She runs advertisement for multi-million billion-dollar companies, and she called me one day and she's like, Maaxx, I am furious, she said, because none of like, these companies are spending millions of dollars every week on Meta, and they are not getting any reach. And this isn't even has nothing to do with speech, because these people are not talking about something that is censored. They're just not getting the reach. And she's on the phone with Meta every day, and she's like, I can't with these fucking people anymore. They're saying it's a worldwide issue right now. What the fuck does that mean?
Well, and you and I kind of talked about this offline earlier, and hopefully one day we'll be able to talk about it a little bit more publicly. But there's a lot of platforms now that are coming out and addressing this, right? Because as these advertisers are pouring millions and billions of dollars into these platforms, the analytics that they're depending on is a fucking spreadsheet that I can make up, right? So they're
Yes.
telling you that your algorithm is reaching this demographic and that. But if you don't have a call to action, if you don't have a QR code, if you don't have the metrics to actually measure your ROI on your investment dollars, then you're Ford, advertising on a Super Bowl commercial for $5 million, and now you're just branding. You're not advertising, you're marketing. See what I'm saying? So there's a big differentiation. I actually learned this from a good friend of mine, Barry. Difference between branding and marketing, right? Advertising is different, because if you are Ford, Chevy, McDonald's, you don't care. You just want people to have that brand recognition. So you will spend that money on a Super Bowl ad. But if you're going to advertise on Meta and do all this crap, and all you want to do is just push your product, you have no idea who's looking at your product, who's engaging with your product, who's buying your product, right? So I think these new platforms that are being more transparent with their numbers, their viewership, rev share with advertising, I think that's going to be the wave of the future. I think Meta, it's never going to go away. And if anything, what happens is they're so big now that when somebody comes along, they'll just either gobble them up and squash it like big pharma does, right? So the pharmaceutical industry is now going parallel with the media industry, where when they see something that's a threat, like cannabis, like psilocybin, something, oh, you don't need to take oxy every fucking day. You can just take a stem cell injection, or you can take an Acemannan pill. Like the things that are actually going to cure or solve the problem. No, they don't want that. You don't think they have a cure for herpes? That bitch has been around for 100 years. They'll have you take a pill.
Well,
How
okay,
many-
so I have a confession to make here. I have had herpes virus in my body, and when I got it, I told somebody that. So, well, long story short, I got it from somebody.
your
Okay,
ex-boyfriend
I have
right
no
now.
problem saying this. I have no problem saying this. But I told, and this person was like super annoyed and saying that fuck, whatever. Like it came from that person, regardless. And I said, well, he's like, oh, but there's got to be a cure. And I said, yes, there is. So he said, what is the cure? And I sent him a book about meditation, and he just looked at me like I'm a crazy person. And I said, if you are so trapped in and I'm not saying you can just completely stop thinking about the physical world, because no, but if anybody's read like the Joe Dispenza books, Healing with Your Mind, Becoming Supernatural, the placebo effect, all of this, like that shit is real. Do you know how powerful you are if you know how to utilize your pineal gland and your mind, your brain and mind properly? You can heal anything. How do you explain that I've had like 2 outbreaks ever in my yes, of course you can get rid of it. It's not even difficult.
I've probably met at least half a dozen women, men that also shared a similar story, and they've told me that holistically, in reaching out to, whether it's Chinese medicine or some fucking shaman, whatever the fuck they did, but they did rely on, yes, once you get herpes, you have it for life, and that you need to take Valtrex or whatever the fuck it's called, and that's what's. They went an alternate route, and now they'll get tested year after year after year, and they don't have it. So yes, somebody's found a cure. They're just not talking about. Somebody has a solution, but when that solution is magnified and amplified, you're shut down, you're deplatformed. It is really interesting when you see the parallels between what the media companies are doing and the pharmaceutical industry, and that when there is a threat to the system, a threat to the status quo, they'll if they have enough money, they'll consume that and just shelf it. And I firmly believe that both the cancer research, AIDS research, like I never donate to anything ever again, because how many fucking cancer relay races do I have to go to? How many trillions of dollars have you guys raised? And supposedly came up with this bullshit vaccine over fucking night, and all of it, yet this thing that's the more killing people, and you guys are there's just, we all know people that are going through cancer, and it saddens my heart, because when people go through that journey and then you start asking questions and you start reaching out, you realize that all of these hospital systems have been told, look, this is the standard. They call it standard of care, which is the most ridiculous 3 words I've ever heard. It's not standard of care. Is let me chemo the fuck out of you. Let me guess. And when it doesn't work, let's just go here. Whereas instead, actually understood the genes, there's actually different therapies you can do to attack it, but that doesn't fit into the protocol. So then they just keep doing the same shit, right? So it is, are we the greatest country on earth? Sure. Do people want to come here? Absolutely. But there's a reason.
I mean, I'm here. I'm not from you. You're not here from here. We're here.
That's why I'm so angry, right? So it's like, you look at it. Where are we at on the scale of education? 50 percentile. Where are we in the literally one of the fattest countries? You go to any Asian country, their kids are eating like sushi, apples, and carrots, and we're eating fucking cheeseburgers and hot dogs and mac and cheese
that are not even made of food.
Something is wrong with this, and I pray to God, like this RFK thing. I was really, really excited, and the McDonald's picture really triggered me. But as I shared with you, some things are too big to change, too big to fail.
Yeah.
You're never gonna get McDonald's banned. You're never gonna get Fruit Loops banned.
Yeah.
The only thing you do is just educate, empower, and hope that people.
And I mean, hopefully, here's the thing. I still believe that they can do better things than many other have, and I'm sure they will do great things. I do. Then do I believe they're gonna do absolutely everything they say? No, but they're also, you can only do so much, and you can't just put all your whole fucking life in the hands of these people. Like, you have some responsibility yourself. People can't just sit there and roll their thumbs and hope that the president is going to fix their life. That's not his job either, Hopefully he will make things a little bit more simple for us, and that's great. But everyone has to work on themselves every day and try to make the world better. And everybody's contribution, it helps. Like, you might think that remember when people started recycling? I remember my mom would tell me, we have to recycle. And I would ask her first, like, why? Everybody's throwing trash all over the place. Why does it matter what I do? And she said, well, of course it does. Because you start doing one thing, and then hopefully a lot of people all around the world think the same. If I just do one thing, how is it ever going to change if you don't change? Like, you have to start, like, and that's how everybody has to think. So it does make a difference.
And then there's the cynical side, like you mentioned recycling, right? So everything we've been told, there's this alternate version, right? Like, did you know that right now recycling isn't actually helping at all? This fucking can, when I go through my little orange can that I'm paying extra for, and there's a separate trash truck that puts it in, they're shipping this shit to China. Like, it's not even getting recycled. And then when you actually look at the whether it's the carbon emissions or the like, you're paying extra to recycle for them to charge me 5 cents so they could make the 5 cents and blah, blah, blah. But there's a beautiful documentary, I think it's on Netflix, called Something of Garbage. And when you actually look at what recycling is in this country, we don't recycle. We just ship the problem somewhere else. And guess what? When we ship it to China and India, they're burning it. And they're just,
right?
It's insanity when you realize it sounds conspiratorial, but I believe nothing, question everything. And sometimes we say crazy, but I tell you what, all my crazy friends, all of a sudden we're not so crazy. And now I say, I think it's crazy not to question shit, not to be a conspiracy theorist, not to kind of question everything with, like, what am I being told, and what's the agenda? Why is that person telling me to do X, Y, Z? You know what I mean?
So I don't know if you see the comments. I got a lot of good comments. People were saying that I'm actually pulling them into the screen. That's why I love the screening service. It says, if your message is meant to be heard, it will be no matter what. You have to have faith in a higher power to believe in this. And actually, I want to talk about that just a little bit, because so we're entrepreneurs, like, and you obviously how I don't have like a big company with a bunch of employees, like you have worked in a slightly different way. And I believe we have to kind of like merge these things. You can't just completely go all about and like, oh, God will fix everything. I'm just going to sit here. Like, of course not. But you have to take bits and pieces. So like what I do these days, actually back to the banning. Every day I have my certain manifestations I do, and I always ask the universe to connect me with whom I need to meet. Every day I have some sort of connection or call or interaction that is going to change the world. And like just our call today, look at that. It doesn't mean, okay, I already knew you. But yesterday I had a call with a person whom I've been wanting to talk to for a very long time, who is a very famous person. And we had the best conversation ever. This guy then in return connected me with another person whom I had the most incredible conversation with. Then this man is connected me so I do believe in the manifestations and the higher power for this reason, because I know that if I do that, the people I need to meet are brought to me, the people that can help me achieve what I want to achieve. So maybe my platform is banned, but I keep repeatedly getting connected with people who's going to help me with the mission. So, and when I say the mission, yes, I want to save all the kids. But for me, it's really about opening up the public to spirituality, to financial freedom, and to health, all of it. And my main focus is the kids, because if we don't focus on kids and make them better, what is the future going to look like? So that's why I think kids are very important, and educating them and everything, not just
I think the manifestation thing is, words kind of get thrown around too easily, or people kind of take a word and then just go with it and create a book or a movement around it, right? When you look at that thing, The Secret, I think it was called, the movie, and then they made a book and they made billions of dollars. When you actually look at the premise of it, it's not that I'm just going to say, hey, I'm going to have a Rolls Royce tomorrow and it shows up in my driveway the way they made it.
It can.
But if you actually go to the roots of a lot of these, even Tony Robbins, if you look at Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich,
Yeah. Oh yeah. Dude, I have that. I haven't even finished the book, but I picked it up a few times because you know how they write the book as if you are ready for the message, you'll know it. I knew it after like the 5th page. So then
Dude,
I actually I've never kept reading it, but it's a great book.
Do me a favor. After this, please read it, and then you'll really understand what I'm telling. Like, you can tell me what page you're on. I could probably recite it so many times. It was literally my business and life Bible, because I realized all this other self-improvement. I say shit, affectionately, but like,
hold on,
Tony
keep
Robbins
talking. I'm gonna. Oops.
Yeah, Tony Robbins provides value. I provide value. All these other motivational speakers and business people provide value. But when you look at what that book did, and that book, I forget how old it is. I'll ask Sari here in a second, but Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich was one of the OG books, and this dude had tapped into that energy source, and he understood what you mentioned, manifestation. So that manifestation isn't me just closing my eyes, but when you read the book and you understand the premise behind it and the energy you're creating, it, you and I talked about this literally 10 minutes before we went live. Was some people say you're crazy. Some people say my buddy's crazy. Joe's crazy. This dude, crazy is what you think. How do you define crazy? I define that people take their kids to fucking McDonald's, right? So your definition of crazy and your perception of crazy and sanity is completely different than mine. But when you look at whatever your perception of reality is, whether you believe in Jesus, Muhammad, Yahweh, whatever, there is an energy source, and there's something that certain people are tapping into. I do believe you've tapped into, and you do things that, I've seen it with my own eyes, the way you've healed yourself, the fact that you're one of the most natural competitors to get to the level that you did. You're broken. For people that don't know, I mean, you did it on my show when I interviewed you. You got fucking scars going up and down your arm that are covered with tats now, but like, you did shit that, like, nobody should have even been able to arm wrestle, and you're bench pressing, my body weight or whatever the fuck that was, right? So,
I did. Well, yeah, yes and no. Like I've been trying to. So I have over like 300 stitches. They're like everywhere. You can't see too much. And then my tattoo on my hand.
Like, you started competing because somebody told you you're not going to be able to do it. You're like, fuck you, I will.
Yes,
so
pretty
that's
much
what I'm talking about. Where you're tapping into a source and an energy level. That's it's some people call it crazy, some people call it divine, whatever words you want to use. But when you go back, for anybody that has not read Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich, all this other stuff kind of revolves around that.
Yeah, I said I have. So Think and Grow Rich is a great one. This is my favorite of all, Becoming Supernatural. I've read this book like so many times, and I kind of just like pick it up and read bits and pieces. Then this one I haven't finished yet.
What was that second one?
Becoming Supernatural, Joe Dispenza. That's about how you heal with your mind. So he has basically meditations. This is how I got through a lot of my injuries, because I don't take painkillers. So I started practicing leaving my body, and then I couldn't feel the pain. So that's how it started. Then I have the last book of the Bible. I haven't finished it yet, but I have a lot of books.
Books that you get through the first chapter and you're like, fuck it.
For me, books, this is how I use books. I don't believe that a book needs to be read from front to back like that. I believe you pick up a book, and this is how I do it. I pick it up until I basically have an epiphany or I get like something comes to me, and then I put it down, and then I got the message I needed for the day to do something. So I just read until I'm like, oh, yes. And then I put it down. And if I don't get an, oh, yes, then maybe it's not a good book.
How do you know there's not another aha moment at the end of the book?
Oh, no, there might be. No, but I pick up and put down. And then, so like this book, I've been reading this book for 3 years or something. That's what I mean. So I like kind of like, I don't believe you just have to like read it. You can read a little. I must have said the Neville collection was one of the first things. Same thing. I just read for a bit until like some sort of feeling or creative thought or something comes to me, or a little while. And then I've done some audiobooks and stuff too. So I listen now I'm on 2 times speed. Joel is on 3 times speed. I cannot do that yet. That's too
Yeah,
fast. I can't hear what they're saying.
maybe 3 or 4, and then if I kind of feel like I know, what's happening. For me, reading has been interesting because,
Mm-hmm.
and this is something I haven't shared with a lot of people, but so when I was younger, well, my whole life I speed read, so I don't read from
Yeah.
left to right. I just look at a page and it just comes, and then I go. So
Uh-huh.
I got accused of cheating, and I got some funny stories of almost being kicked out because they thought I
Do you
was
have
cheating.
photographic memory?
Photographic listening, not
Mm-hmm.
like if I can be in a room and I'll hear, I can be in a bar and there can be 4 people around me. I can tell you right now who's behind me, what color shirt they're wearing, who walked in 5 minutes ago, what they're
Mm-hmm.
talking about as I'm ordering a cocktail, and I'm probably 4 tequilas deep. So there's just something weird the way that my brain works.
Uh-huh.
I remember one time when I was like, "Hey, I've been taking Adderall." You're like, "Why are you taking Adderall?" I'm like, "Do you not listen to me talk?" Like,
Yeah,
it's
no, I
just,
know. I
it's just,
remember you and me said one time, you told me, you said you're the only one I listen to voice messages to. You said because you talk fast enough for me to like
dude,
not get
if I
bored.
look at my page and it says voice message, unless you've read it, unless it says 20 seconds or less, or unless it's dictated it ain't happening. I cannot. Hi, it's me. It's 3:22. Bitch, I already know it's 3:22 because it's timestamped. I don't need a fucking weather report. Talk,
Ah,
So,
yeah.
no, it's the way I describe it, honey, it's like if you've ever seen like the halftime of a Super Bowl or any big
Mm-hmm.
sporting event. Usually at halftime or somewhere along the broadcast, they'll show you the production booth, and in that production booth there'll be 100 TVs, and
Uh-huh.
one of them the cheerleader's ass, one's on the quarterback, one's shooting the
Cheerleader's
last,
ass.
and, and then there's a producer with a camera, and he's the one that's saying camera one. He's
Mm-hmm.
seeing 99 cameras, but that camera one goes to 450 million people.
Mm-hmm.
That's as I'm talking to you right now. I know the dogs outside are rolling around. I can tell that the spa's not on. Like there's 99 cameras going on here. I can see these text messages coming here. I'm thinking about the next payment I'm going to make tomorrow. Like all of that is going on, but right now camera one is on you. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's fucking exhausting being me. It's probably why I'm single at 47, never been married, because I know what it takes to operate at the level that I do. But going back to what you were saying, like all of the things that we speak about and the energy levels, etc.
Mm-hmm.
I do believe that everything in my life, all the trials, tribulations, you can watch the first episode of the podcast, My Mess is My Message.
Mm-hmm.
Everything has led me to this moment, down to the conversation you and I had an hour ago, where now all of a sudden, you and I are joining forces with the medical community, stem cell research, Acemannan, like all these things that are like were taboo, where we were like afraid to talk about it. And it's things that are actually helping people. And now I feel like I finally found my mission. Yes, money. I've always loved money. I do believe,
Nothing
going back
wrong
to the
with that.
bird.
I think it's absolutely nothing wrong with loving money. And I would never say that I don't like money. That would just be crazy. But I think that the people, because I know a lot of these people, there are those people who just want money and they don't even give a shit how they get the money. I do not believe that's going to work. I don't believe it. You need to have a bigger mission. You can make $1 billion. That's fucking great. What are you going to contribute with? How are you going to help people or make the world better to earn that? That's how you do it. Because I don't think there's any limit then. If you are truly giving something back, like the medical system has all that money, but they're fucking killing people. So in the long run, these people can truly not be fucking happy. And who like runs that shit, maybe that's a whole different conversation. They're not human at all anyway. So maybe it doesn't fucking matter. They're demons. But everyone can go listen to my live from yesterday about the exorcism. They need some of that shit. So that's kind of another conversation. But anyone who is actually not a dark demon or something, that shit's not gonna work. You know?
When I speak on stage, there's a line that I use. I say, money doesn't buy happiness, but it's pretty fucking hard to be happy without it. Now, what does that mean? I know a lot of people that are extremely wealthy, billions, and they're miserable, right? So it doesn't buy happiness, but yes, there's little people that live in villages and huts that fish and they have a great life, but the definition of happiness and the things, the freedom, the access, the information, the healthcare, the good food, like that happiness that you want to provide for your family, and more importantly, the influence. And I think this is a great way to maybe close out and circle out when we're talking about politics. for me, and it was super controversial. They were trying to kick me off certain platforms when I was like, dude, the voting to me didn't make sense anymore, because I'm like, if I've given 2 options of bullshit and either side is just throwing a football back and forth, and then I would meet people at the highest levels that I won't name, and they would tell me, they're like, we actually, you get into the system. Any third party candidate are like, it's not even an option anymore at this point. Like, it is so rigged in this 2-party system. So when Trump says it was rigged, it was rigged for somebody to win. I don't give a shit. Like, at this point, and granted, this election was a little bit more extreme, and yes, I did have a preference, if you don't know already, who I wanted, but it wasn't because political affiliation, Republican, Democrat. I just wanted some motherfucker to burn it down, because I want that. He has freaked people out. Yes, he's an asshole. Yes, maybe he says racist shit. Yes, but I don't give a fuck anymore.
Let him fuck. You know what? Who the fuck cares? I mean, freedom of speech should fucking be for him too, right? I mean, and here's the thing. I think he does good things. I think he does shitty things, and I hope he follows through. And I don't vote, but of course, I thought that would happen now is better than the other option. But I believe, like, if he truly follows through with what he says he will for sure be the best president that's ever existed. So I really hope he does. And I want to end up this conversation with the whole Tyson Jake Paul story, because you were there in person and saw the fight, and I did a live about it, and obviously all that was bullshit. So do you want to share what happened over there?
That was an interesting experience. I went there to go support this new water brand that I've been consulting for, Bored and Thirsty, and it was, the seats that I had were phenomenal. I think I was like 7 or 8 rows back. But Netflix, and by the way, Netflix, people don't understand the power that now Netflix is carrying, right? They're in all the countries. They are putting out an agenda, certain type of content that I feel they're pushing. When you look at the top recommended, when it's whatever type of month it is and whatever agenda they're pushing, they have a lot of power now because of the they're in everyone's homes at this point. At some point, if you live in a household, somebody in that household has that platform, right? Now, it's an uncensored platform. You don't really know who's controlling or the media content provider, right? Now, case in point, I've been to World Series. I've been to Super Bowls. It was an awesome event. I mean, there was over 100,000 people there, standing room only, beautiful stadium. The energy was electric. Netflix controlled, if I'm not mistaken, like the first 20, 30 rows. And so they had their own security. They had their own media. They had their own audio visual. They had their own cocktail waitresses. I know a girl that was cocktail waitressing there, and she was not allowed to go get the order. There would be another Netflix person that would get the order, deliver it to her. They'd go to the bar, bring it back. I mean, it was just and everything was falling apart. Jerry Jones's brother or handler, Jerry Jones is the owner of the Cowboys, the owner of that fucking stadium, is sitting there, and his handler comes up to cocktail and says, "Look, I don't care what you got to do, bring this man a drink. He can't wait no more." The owner of the stadium can't get a drink because the control that Netflix was trying to have on that environment. I tried to do a little promotional spot for this brand. I got approached by one of the security guards. "Hey, you can't do promo spots here." I'm like, just talking to the camera, dude. There's 50,000 cameras here. Everybody's talking to it. He just saw heard what I was saying. It was a 15-second thing that I was doing. It wasn't a professional commercial. "Hey guys, I'm over here." Whoop, whoop, whoop. Then I go sit down. He sees me do it again. They want to take away the hat or get my seat. Now, old me, or if I'd had a few more tequila shots, I would have lost my shit and probably not been at the fight. Calmed down, handed him the hat, pulled out another one out of my backpack. So, point being, so it was a complete spectacle. Now, what and I've been meaning to post this, and I'll do it tomorrow, and I'd love to get some feedback from any attorney friends you have. To me, when you've put on a fight, I am tens of thousands. My seats were going for, I think, $8,000 a piece when I was looking at StubHub 2 hours before. In hindsight, fuck, that would have been a nice little trip we could have taken. But didn't sell them, went to the fight, enjoyed it, no regrets. But when you're putting on something, if it's a wrestling event, WWE, you know it's fake, right? You go to the circus, you know the monkeys are paid to jump through the freaking hoops. But when you're putting on a boxing match that historically, yes, there's rigging and there's judge rigging, but when you're putting it on, and now come to find out, And I'm a big supporter of both. In fact, I made a reel. I was like, you guys talking shit on Tyson? Dude, 60 years old, look better than all of you. So shut the fuck up. Let him take his cash. And then you're talking shit on Jake. He's a brilliant marketer. He got this fight. He's going to make his money. But have it be a fight. Promote it as a fight. But now come to find out, if you're telling me and you see the videos where I betted on Tyson. So now I've put money on an event that's supposed to be a fair event.
Yeah.
People have paid a subscription to Netflix and are tuning in, which is paying your advertisers. And then there's billions of dollars of people in there that are paying for these tickets and all the other.
But the fact that Jake Paul owns the betting company and the promotion company, isn't that kind of interesting?
You could bet in 50 other states. Some states, this is when I knew something was fishy, or certain states were like, we won't even let you bet on the fight. That's when I knew word had got out, and I should have gone the other way. But I kind of I just have this hope that Tyson would win. And he had the capability. Like, I was in his camp before. The guy had and you can tell he's pulling his punches. Now, neither of them have denied there is a contract that Tyson was not allowed to knock him out, right? So if you're telling me you're a promoter, you're Jake, you're 27, you're beating up a 6-year-old man, and you put it in contractually that this dude cannot knock you out, like, to me, that is one of the biggest frauds. And
because then you're like, then Mike isn't allowed to actually fight him really at all, because how would you know if he, because of the fighter is and what he can do and his strength and whatnot, how does he even know that he, like, one little punch could knock him out technically?
There's some brilliant, and obviously the internet universe, and I can't believe somebody as smart as Jake would put himself in this position, because dude has hundreds of millions of dollars. He doesn't need 20 or 40 million. He's doing it for high.
He was wearing $1 million fucking shorts on this event, which I did a whole post about. But
why would you put yourself in a position knowing that eventually the shit's going to get out, that contractually you are not allowed to get beat, and you're putting on a fair fight? And as an attorney, I wonder what the legalities of that are. If you're denying it, and people are betting on the fight, buying tickets. This was not supposed to be a wrestling event. It was supposed to be a fair-ish 6-year-old, 28, whatever. That argument is separate. But was it a fair fight? There's amazing clips that people have shown where pre-fight, this dude was an animal still.
Yeah,
he was still older, but he's pulling his punches. He's literally, there's shots where he could have just clocked Jake out. So.
Yep.
Did I enjoy it? Yeah. Was it amazing? Yeah. But it's just another testament to, trust nothing, believe nothing, question everything. I'd love to get an attorney's viewpoint on this, because I would love to get them under oath and saying, hey, was there a contract that said you're not allowed to win? Excuse me. So Tyson, my understanding right now from the people that I know and people that are rumbling, there's a contract in place that Tyson was not allowed to beat Jake. And if that's true, I think Tyson, I'll forgive him. Like, that dude's like, I've always wanted to see him live, and so I was still grateful. But I'd love to see how it plays out. But it was interesting to see the dynamics, the ass kissing. It was cool. It was a great event. No complaints. By the way, shout out to the 2 chicks that fought before. The one girl got robbed.
Oh my God. Yeah, she totally got robbed. That was probably, and because I'm here in the MMA gym now, I've been starting to watch fight for educational reasons, because I want to just, get better, obviously. That was probably the best thing I've ever seen. And I hate watching all sports. And I mean all sports. I fucking hate it. And that was the craziest shit I've ever seen. I mean, that was so incredible. And Serrano should have won. Like, there's no doubt about it. So I was kind of bummed over that. That was just kind of stupid. And to be honest, I almost feel like, I don't know of them very much, but I feel like the other girl, how do you feel going home with that win when you know that you didn't win? Like, that must not feel good for her either, right? It's just, but still.
There was a reason that happened.
And that's what with authenticity, I could never in my life, as an authentic person, I could never fucking do that. That's just disgusting. And I mean, like, I know when I won, there was all this drama about this fucking goob guy online that made these stories about us buying the wins. Do you know what they said? They said that Pure Blood was the official sponsor of the show. And I'm like, that would have been fucking dope. I'm like, I would love to say that, but I don't have the fucking money to be the official sponsor for a show that big. Like, I'm not yet. Like, like, what the fuck? Could you not come up with something?
Showing me there's politics, there's money, there's agendas, there's promoters, and unfortunately, I think that's why boxing is dying, and I think that's why the UFC is having the success it is. I love the fact that Dana White, kind of like sits back and smiles, like, "What'd you guys expect? You bought a ticket to a circus, you got a circus. What are you guys complaining about?" And he's right. And if you look at it, and even being UFC, Dana, Dana's the controller, the president. There's a couple other guys there, obviously, but there's him. And when there is a fight to where the judges are questionable, he calls them out. He has no fucks given. To me, that's one of the last authentic sports now. And I was never big on UFC, but over the years, I was a big boxer.
Except the story with Joel, though.
That's a whole.
I mean, they're gonna have to, considering that Jimmy Kimmel. So if anybody doesn't know, Joel called out Jimmy Kimmel back in the days as a pedophile, and now Jimmy Kimmel is facing lifetime for just that. So I feel like the UFC should give him a fucking apology and put that shit back, because he was right.
I think with some of the platforms that you and I have been talking about, and I think as he gets what's fascinating about what Joel is doing is, even though he's shadow banned times 1,000, right? More so than almost anybody else I know. He puts out a lot of questionable content, but to me it's entertaining, and he's not hateful. He's just talking normal shit and makes his songs.
Yeah.
He's doing him. He's being him, right? Nobody should be banned for just doing that shit. He's not hate speech or anything.
I mean, yes and no. So they pulled the anti-Semitism bill the other day.
I saw that. Yeah.
So that's basically what he's been talking about always. So he called me the other day. He called me the other day and said, "Bye. It's been nice knowing you." And I was like, "What?"
I think Joel is the same as you. I think you guys are both at the level in your careers and your mission and your journey in life that it's a zero fucks given game for y'all, and I respect it. It's something that, and I was honest with you. I was like, hey, sometimes when I do something with you or I'll tag you, like I'll just see like they shadow ban the fuck out of affiliating yourself, which is so crazy. Like,
and I have met a person who's more banned than me. So actually Joel gets extra shadow banned when he tags me. So somehow I make it worse for him. But I ended up tagging a guy the other day, and now I get 0 views on my TikTok. 0! I never seen that before.
That's crazy.
What?
And that's why I think, and we'll wrap up with this because I know you and I can talk for hours, but when I see what Elon has done, and if that is truly the last free speech platform, we're in a dark place in this country that we cannot talk anymore without worrying about the words that are coming out of my. The fact that I can't use the word vaccine, the fact that I can't use the word cannabis, mushroom, Israel, genocide, like every word now, you got to be paranoid. You got to use code words. You got to use a tree.
Because here's the thing: we didn't invent these words. We didn't invent the words. Somebody invented the words. Like, who are you to come say that we can't use them?
Well, and I love what Candace Owens talks about this all the time. She's like, the word fag. She's like, it's a cigarette. Like, it's written in books. Like, somebody decided that the word fag has become derogatory towards homosexuals. And now you're telling me I can't use a word because some of you are offended. This isn't about racism. This isn't about hatred. This isn't about, not loving or accepting a certain, I fucking love everybody, But when you're starting to tell people what they can say, what they can't say, what words, who decides what words are acceptable today? Tomorrow, the word fucking video may be like used in a crazy way, and now it's a pedophile word, and now
right.
It's so freaking crazy.
Like, do you know that you get your I put save kids in my bio once, and I didn't know that that's like because it's a thing they will use for trafficking. So then you get your bio banned from being shown to people. I was like, I can't say save kids. I mean, like, just because some bad fucker.
You can say porn. You can say fuck. Like, all of those hashtags, you'll be fine. I tried to do a fundraiser for child sex the word child sex trafficking. Try to help it would just completely. You get the little warning thing. It's just crazy, dude. And then you're $1 billion, like, what do I say? Multi-billion, almost $1 trillion company, whether you're Meta or Facebook, whatever, and you don't have the infrastructure to like help people get unshadow banned, or if they like, no, dude, I get it. you're trying to protect me, but you're not. You're actually, all these other people are trafficking people openly, and you're shadow banning people that are trying to talk and spread the message. So
Yeah.
I appreciate guys like you guys. You know, like I said, I don't agree with everything that anybody says, but as long as people have a platform and have a voice and bring me on, I'll debate, I'll talk to anybody. But it's we're in a dark, we still are, even after this election, we're in a dark place in this country that's supposed to be a free country, democracy, where you're not allowed to talk anymore without fear of retribution to your business, to your family, to your broadcasting rights, to your career path. I mean, it's just it's a strange world. So I'm happy that you and I are focusing. I mean, the shit I've realized now, though, and I'll close on this because I've been yapping for a while and I had a lot of coffee. The voting for me wasn't it, but I realized that money is power, and yes, it doesn't provide happiness always, and blah blah blah. But your one little vote doesn't mean shit. But if you make enough money and you can hire the lobbyists, and you think all these people paying $1 million to take a picture with Trump or Kamala gave a shit about anything other than the influence that they want to have, that they know they can pick up the phone and say, pass this bill, make gambling legal here, make vapes legal there. Like all of it is controlled by money. So yes, do you want your vote to count? Make more fucking money, and then your vote will count because you'll be able to hire the right people and have the right influence. This country was built on capitalism, not democracy or votes. So I'll leave it at that.
Perfect. Well, we need to continue a conversation another day and talk about this type of stuff. Talk about money more. We didn't go in so much about money, but maybe on another call we can do more about telling people how to make money, right?
I like. Yeah, I'm always here for you. I appreciate you. I love you, and I can't wait to see you back out here.
Yeah, me too. I love you too, and I'm very excited. And this is a good example. Me and Tony do not agree on everything. We do agree on a lot of things, but we don't agree on everything. And sometimes we might disagree, and we can still respect each other and do things together.
I love that about you. Thank you so much, sweetheart.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Great night. Bye-bye.
Bye. Okay, let's see. Okay. That was a great live. Thanks, guys, for being on. I love the comments. And for everyone who's on Instagram, remember that the view is cropped, so you can go watch the replay on Rumble. And I just want to show you guys before I jump off, I'm launching a new collaboration for Pure Blood soon, which is super exciting. So I'm running a big sale on the entire website on all the old designs. So you guys have 20% off everything on the site. So if you go to officialpureblood.com, 20% with this code, 20% off everything on the whole site, anything you want. This is Skunk Phil. Love him. If somebody doesn't know what that is Trump's ear getting shot, and it says Pure Blood Protected. This is one of my favorite prints I've done, except the new collection that is coming out soon. That is my absolute favorite thing and the most love I've ever put into anything at all. This one is the one I'm wearing right now, actually, but there's a lot of stuff to find here. 20% off. Use the code. Can't even see my ball. I'm sitting on a ball and the air is like going out, but this is the one I'm using right now. And I'm actually going live tomorrow again as well. Going live with a series of ladies. I'll show you guys that too. So tomorrow, all of us. Oops. That's Joel. Well, Ladies Night I called it. We're 5 women, and then Joel guest appearing. That's going to be cool. We're actually starting at 10 p.m. Mountain Time. So we're starting pretty late. If you guys are awake, I'll be live from like 10 to like 1 a.m. in the morning. Mountain Time, by the way. Because one of the girls that are coming on, she is in Sweden, so she just wakes up in the morning and is coming on at midnight Mountain Time, and that's gonna be awesome. So I'll see you guys tomorrow, and I rearranged my live window a little bit so it looks a little nicer. NoBlowClub.com, that's my website. If you go on there, I have a holiday sale on my coaching programs, my biohacking coaching, health coaching, training, meals, everything. You can also find the Acemannan on there. And I have a biohacking community, biohackordie.com. If you go on there, it's free to join biohacking community. It's you can talk with other people. We share information and tips and tricks and stuff about biohacking and how you can help yourself get out of the trap of the medical system, but also help your loved ones. So go visit that. And you can also subscribe to my email. So if you are already subscribed to my email list, you have to go into your spam and put me in the inbox, because they do that to you now. There is like an algorithm in the emails as well. So you might have been able to get my emails in the past, and then suddenly they don't show up for you anymore. And that's not very weird, because that's what they do to you. Let me see if I could... Oh, no, I can't. Wait, is the sound fucked up again? Oh my god, I am gonna lose my shit. So apparently my microphone is picking up sound from literally everything. I don't even know what it's called. I'm not an audio person. I ordered a thing for my microphone so the sound isn't gonna be fucked up anymore. I think it was only in the beginning of the live, and I'm sorry for that. But I will sort it out. I'll see you guys soon. Mwah. I love you all.